Hello to you today. I've just done this quick card for the Scrap and Stamp blog hop today that we are having. Some like it hot. I'm using these cute mugs that come from the set Thanks a Latte by Lawn Fawn. And I'm using another Lawn Fawn coffee cup with the whipped cream. I think it's Latte Spice, if I'm not mistaken. It is in the links at the bottom of my blog post, if you'd like to know. And I've stamped them using Ranger Archival ink in sepia, as I'm going to be coloring with Copics today and using browns and reds for my coloring. I did some masking just with a piece of paper. I didn't use masking paper for these, but just to get them lined up properly. And then I'm adding in a few of the little faces and features that come with the stamp set. I add in the little smiley face here that never wants to sit up until you just put the door on it, and it'll go in place. I can move it then to where I want it to be. I add a snowflake, as it's that time of month in Canada. We're getting a lot of snow. And I add a scarf to the tall mug. And then proceed to color with the watercolors. I'm using designer paper to stamp and color on today. It's paper that I've had for a few years. So good time to use up designer paper if you have it around. This is the perfect opportunity to use it up. I don't know the name of it because I didn't have enough left to give me names, but this one that I'm stamping on has a faint print in the background. The others that I'm using are a red and this color stripe, red and beige stripe, and I'm using a craft cardstock for my card base. I'm just adding in the little details here. I won't bore you too much longer with this. They are doing work in my building today, and they've been hammering for the last couple of hours, and it just reverberates through the whole building, as you can imagine. So I sent a text to the manager and said, can you tell him to go take lunch so I can finish my video? And she did. She's such a sweetheart. Anyway, here I go with the coloring. I'm just going to show you how I did the tall mug. I've used the same colors for all of them. I just switched them around how I use them to get one mug darker than the other. And they all have the red on them. The color of the reds that I used are R14 and R27. And the colors of the browns are E37, E43, and E53. They are hard to get in Canada, Copic markers, at a reasonable price. And I couldn't get any of the browns in sketch markers. But I would suggest buying the sketch, as they can be refilled. With the darker color, I just do some shading, add in the darker color, and then go back over it with the lighter color again. It's a bit of a process. I haven't left you here. Sorry, I'm getting a bit of a cold today. I'm not a fast colorer. Is there such a word? I take my time. I do the same when I watercolor. I just take my time. I don't rush through anything, as that's when I'll make a mistake. I'll go out of the lines or something will happen. So I tend to take my time doing it. You can fast forward through this part. I am not going to even know. I do have some white ink that I use too for the marshmallows. I put that on the end. It's I think it's called a Pilot pen. I got it off of Amazon, and I will actually put a link to it, to the Canadian Amazon, on my blog post before I publish it. But it comes in handy for adding some texture to the marshmallows and the whipped cream and making them more white than the background of the paper is. I never have success with the gel pens or anything of that nature when it comes to white, which can be very frustrating at times, and they seem to dry out incredibly fast. They probably don't dry out, it's me not using them, but for the card that is below the one I'm presently doing, I start with the E43 and then go over with the E37, and then the card on the, or the cup on the right, I start with the E53 and then use the E37. So they're just different shades of the taupey brown color. I do the handle last. And I was going to say, and the rim of the cup. I was thinking after I should have colored that heart pink, but that would change the color scheme, so I used the white pen on that, the paint pen. This is almost done, the part that I'm showing anyway for today, and I'll be putting the card together in a minute. I've attached this panel that I'm working on to Fun Foam using the Be Creative tape, and attach that to my card base, which has the Designer Series paper on it. And both of the panels, the one I was working on and the paper on the card base, are cut with my wonky stitch die from My Favorite Things. And to finish it, I added a few gumdrops. I chased one around the card for a bit before I got it to actually be in its spot. I added the bird in the last part of the card and colored it with the light beige and the light red Copics. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this card today. It was fun to make, that's for sure. And I hope you'll enjoy the blog hop and leave some love on the ladies' cards and for your chance to win some prizes. Thanks so much for watching.